struggle with change, we're talking about how change doesn't have to be overwhelming if you make one small change at a time on this episode of Coffee with Tea. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, Tonia and I'm excited because we're going to be connecting with Emily McNamara, and she is going to be giving us some insight as to how we can do things a little bit different this year. So without further ado, that's my favorite phrase for this season, is we're going to bring on Miss Emily McNamara. So welcome back, Miss Emily.
I'm so excited. Thank you, Tonia. I love it.
So, I want to really going to dive more into about how we are shaping things up and to really take form and really grow our business and stuff like that. But before we really dive into, can you maybe for the audience recap who you are, what you do, and what's your core message that you've been sharing lately?
I sure can. So I am a health and wellness coach with Shackley Wellness. And actually, Tonia, you didn't know this yet, but I finally purchased my own first small change business. So that's going to be me in partnership with Shackley. So I always talk about making that first small change, that one small step, because with your health, it can be daunting, especially if you have a lot of goals or if you want to get to a very far place. So my mantra whenever I sit down and talk with someone and have a consultation is, okay, I hear this, this, and this. Let's just start right here. Let's start with a small thing, build that habit, and then we'll move on to the next thing because you want to build that success for yourself. So I'm still over here teaching and preaching that because I love it and I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in a ton of my clients. And so especially with a new year after a crazy one, I feel like that's where we all need to start in every aspect of life, right? Like one day at a time, first small change, stay positive. It's going to be okay.
Right. Well, congratulations on your new business success.
Yes, thank you. So my focus for the new year is doing something different and not necessarily changing it up, but in the new year, we're always making resolutions, right? And I was telling my business networking group this morning, I don't care for resolutions because it puts like this pressure on me of, okay, I have to come up with this goal. I have to make sure I complete it. And then 9 times out of 10, like the pressure, pushes me down and I don't finish it. And then I like, blah. Instead, I would rather, like I was saying before, build that habit or that behavior, whatever it is, and just have it be consistent in my life. So that has been my goal in sharing with my clients for the new year of do something different. So instead of making a resolution, especially health, I'll go with health because that's my area. And that's a lot of what January is for people. I got to get back on track. I ate too many sweets at the holidays, So instead of doing the same old where you're like, I'm going to lose this much weight, or I'm going to cut this out altogether. Again, that first small change, but doing something different where you do build the habit. Like don't set a weight loss goal for January or February, like make a long-term, sit down with me and let's just learn maybe what you need to do differently. And it doesn't have to be overnight, like I said, because that's too overwhelming. So to help my clients right now, I've been doing, or I'm going to start a video challenge where, again, they just sit down and watch or listen to a video to learn about health resources. They can do with it what they want, but literally all they have to do is learn because we're always learning in life, right? So that's where I'm at right now. That's the fun stuff going on so far.
Oh, great. I do believe in being a lifetime learner because that's what I'm starting to realize. I always say learning it, or I always say reading. Reading is my superpower, but it's actually learning because if you learn to stay curious, that's where you receive so many different blessings that come in different ways.
Yeah,
it's like good. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you're always growing. I always feel like if I'm not learning something new, I'm stagnant, and it's more fun to learn something new and to push myself to new levels. So I love that.
Right. Oh yeah. I was sharing with you. I said I'm always learning something new, and even if I didn't share it with the audience, but I fell recently, and I even turned that into a lesson learned because it was like I realized when I fell and I took my focus off of what I was doing,
Mhm.
that how we do anything is how we do everything. So when I lost focus on my running and I fell, I realized that, hey, I lose focus in my business, I fall.
Mhm.
So I love how you talk about learning is something new. So you can actually learn from your biggest mistakes.
Yes. And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow, right? But you come out better for it in the end. So I always tell people, don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace, right? We all mess up. We're human. But it is just learn it and do it better next time. And you might fail again, and that's okay. You just keep learning, you keep doing, you keep trying until you get it.
Right, right, right. So I know this is the part where we always share. If you're enjoying the nuggets that Emily is dropping and you're picking them up, hey, make sure you give us a thumbs up and actually check out the information. Hit that like button, maybe follow up with a couple of comments so I can follow up with Miss Emily on that. And we're gonna dive more into how she actually um embraced this no doing something different. How did this become your message as we going forward?
I usually use my own personal story because that's the most genuine and people can relate to that. So the holidays, I'll be totally honest, are not my favorite. It's a lot of hustle and bustle, and it stresses me out. And I was just thinking when I had some downtime over the holidays of like, I really want to do something different, still have holidays, but maybe a new tradition. Maybe my husband and I start our own tradition. And so that just kept going in my brain. And, I'm planning stuff for my clients for the new year and health. And hey, don't wait till January. Let's start now. And I just was like, we need to do this in our health too. Of sometimes you do need to switch it up. You want to find those good habits. But even when I'm talking with clients and they hit a plateau in weight loss, we get down to the nitty gritty of like, okay, well, what kind of workouts are you doing? What kind of food are you eating? Because even just, adding some weights to your daily walk switches it up for your body. It's a little bit something different for your body and helps jumpstart that weight loss again. And so instead of people, like I said, just starting those resolutions and then fizzling out by end of January or February, do something different that's going to make you enjoy it, that's going to make a lifestyle change. So you don't know that you don't necessarily know it's something different. It's something different, but you don't know. You're tricking your body into it and you're building that healthy lifestyle versus, those crazy diets or whatever else is out there, the fads that are happening that, work for 30 days and then that's it. Let's build good habits and do something different so it sticks.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is, and a lot of the stuff is when you were thinking about your clients, that's when you really start to think most change happens within you first, and then you can put it out to the clients. Correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. And I think just because, like I said, I have that story to tell them, that journey that I can share, and it's just relatable. I don't know, when I hear someone's personal testimony, that touches me way more deeply than if someone was just saying, now this book over here says blah, 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 or this statistic says. I want to hear what happened in your life. How does that help me? So yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, and I want to also dive a little bit into, which is a little bit we haven't touched too much on, is I know you have faith based um background as well,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you believe that sometimes people do things because we're all interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is really what I wanted to time, because we were talking about in the pre-call that I did an event I started an event, and once you saw the event, you had the idea to do an event for you as well,
Yeah.
which really ties me into the book that I finished, because it all comes down to the whole book that I just finished. It was Believing Bigger.
Okay.
And basically she says that we all have a gift, and that if you don't develop your gift, somebody else won't be able to develop their gift because they're waiting for you to do what you do, so in order for them to do what they do. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that, because this is what I heard when I'm hearing you share the story, because I'm realizing as I come out of my comfort zone, and I don't know who needs to see whatever I share, but obviously it's paying off because
Yeah.
people are picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to share that with you, and I didn't know exactly how to bring it up, but it's like you won't be able to influence your clients until you actually
Mm-hmm.
develop the skills for yourself. So this is something like you're applying to what you're doing, correct?
Yes. So I guess a little bit of background. I'm sure that your people know that you're hosting something right now in January. And I saw Tonia post it and was talking with my life coach. And I'm doing interviews, I'm doing live videos, I'm trying to, get with people and collaborate. And my life coach was like, what Tanya's doing, you could do that too. So yes, I have a health summit coming up. And you're so right. I saw, I think it was a meme or, something clever the other day on social media about, and basically people are watching you, like you said, but also you have to get started because somebody's going to take that position that you want because you aren't getting started. And that I was like, oh, that's good, and you're right. I know you meet people for a reason and things are laid on my heart for a reason. So when I share them, I'm like you, Tonia, I'm like, I don't know who needs to see this, but it's been laid on my heart. So I'm going to share it and that's what's going to happen. And I love that you brought that up because sometimes I do need that reminder that, God gave me this position, this profession for a reason, and I need to use it accordingly because he's given me those gifts. And if I'm not, then someone else is going to do it for me and I'm not going to have as much fun in life, right?
Right, you're right. And like it's I like I said, going deeper, it's like you don't realize how interconnected we really are. And like I said, and one of the, I'm not a scripture type person, so forgive me those who are. Um, I have a lot of faith based, but I don't dive too deep into which that's a whole other story. But anyway, back to the background is I know we all have something special that we have to harness. And if you start to realize that you have a light, you we all have a light. We can light the world up. It's basically what I'm saying is I light my light, you light your light, and together we can light the world. And that's what I'm starting to understand. And it's amazing to watch this journey. Even with the podcast, the people that you talk to is like, oh my God, I didn't think about that. So share a little bit about how you do your networking and you do your interviews as well. So how does that have been something like helped you grow?
It kind of started during the thick of the pandemic. I just realized, people were starting to get more serious with their health, which I was grateful for. But at the same time, I was like, we need some more talk on mental health because it's all so connected, right? Physical health, mental health. And so I had met a counselor, I don't know, maybe a few months before that. And she and I just really hit it off. She was also faith-based, so it was just an easy connection to make. And I'm like, hey, can I just interview you and we'll record it on Zoom and we'll post it for people and I'll send it out to my email list? And she's like, sure. So we did the basics, right? Of like what a basic routine might look like for you and why a routine would be good right now and how that affects your mental health and how it's okay to ask for help outside of your family or friends or whatever. And it kind of just spiraled from there. I was like, oh, this is fun. This might be my niche. And so then I tried it with another friend who is a coach, a fitness coach. And again, talking about how exercise really releases those endorphins and helps that mental health and physical health. And then I was like, okay, I think I got this. And so right now I'm actually going through my business networking group to highlight their businesses. It may not necessarily relate to health, but I'm like, this is a lot of fun to showcase people. And I'm like, oh, Tonia in the back of my mind, this is what she's doing. I love it. But it's just so fun to share. I have a heart for people and I love being able to share them with others. And, people are looking at me for health, but hey, my friend over here can save you some money on your insurance. You know what I mean? So now I've just realized it's my thing. And especially being virtual all the time, pretty much, everyone's on here. Everyone's going to see it. It's a way to get information out and plant those seeds. Even if nothing comes of it for a while, I know someone out there needs to hear it. Right. So it's a lot of fun. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so fun.
So I can understand. So, I mean, for those who don't know, it's fun. So I would say definitely jump out there, talk to people. I guess that's the biggest thing is just talk to people. You see what you're like I said, sometimes when I have a moment and I don't want to do it, I was reminded today why I do it because, some people need it. Some people are just looking to share their message. Anybody hear me,
I like that saying of, if for network marketing, it's you never know the answer until you ask. Like the answer is always no until you ask somebody like, hey, do you want to hear this? And so that's always in my heart too. Like, well, you know what? It's not going to hurt. They can tell me no and I'll move on. But if I feel like you need to hear it, I'm at least going to ask. Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I love it. So we're down to like last few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know what's the one thing, if nobody else can hear you from anything else, what's the one message that you want to hear from them today?
Again, just do something different for yourself in terms of making your life better. And a lot of that is physical health, but also self-care and that mental health. So do something different for the new year, and don't just set a goal to set a goal and then not follow through with it. Just do one small thing at a time. Make that first small change. That's where it starts. And have faith in yourself that you can do it, and also have grace with yourself when there are days that you fail, because that's okay. Again, we're human, and have grace with yourself, but keep trying, because that's how you reach those milestones that you're looking for. Just takes that first small change. That's all it is.
Right. Love it. And I also want to remind everybody, where can we find you and how can we follow up if we want to know more information about what you do?
Yes, of course. So I'm always on social media. It's Emily McNamara. I also have a Happy Healthy VIP group where I share daily resources. And as of recently, I am sending out weekly emails as well. So there'll be a subscribe button I'm sure that you'll send out. But also my email is great. It's going to probably change soon, but I'll let everyone know. Right now it's LOHREYEC@gmail. Was my maiden name, sorry. And then a phone or text is always really good too, 513-315-1658. We were talking earlier that texting is the thing, but I do like a phone call. So by all means, give me a phone call.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And like I said, I always love having you on, and I love you. Always welcome to come back and share your message a little bit more. We can dive deeper into some more stuff.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tonia. You're awesome. I love this show.
Awesome people attract awesome people, I say. So again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Remember that feedback is always welcome. Emails if you have any guest or show ideas. Links to all the sites that Emily mentioned will be posted down in the description box. So please make sure you check it out there down below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. Give us a comment or something like that. If you enjoying all the insights and you want to continue to get the insights, remember, hit that subscribe button over there. And remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, and create your own path. And we'll see you back here on another episode of Coffee with Tea. All right, bye-bye. Share with us, what was one of your takeaways from today's show? Post your answers in the comments.